Hello and welcome along to Carrying On. My name is Julian, and this is my channel about music, about a deep dive into my own personal collection with some reviews of records that I love and cherish from my collection here where I live in South Thailand. So I thought today, as an introduction to the channel, I'd talk a bit more about collecting here in Thailand, which is a bit of a vinyl backwater, really. There aren't a lot of record shops here. There aren't a huge number of collectors, especially in my area of soul and jazz. But if you look hard enough, you can find it. And I certainly have here, even here in South Thailand. So, firstly, I mean, I used to live in Bangkok. I lived there for 7 years. And there were, and there still are, record shops there, probably more now than there were when I left nearly 10 years ago, when I left Bangkok. There were record shops there, some secondhand and some selling new reissues of records in the soul and jazz and rock area. Some Thai record shops as well, particularly in the old Chinatown area. And this has only grown in the last 10 years as vinyl has become more popular. So even though I don't go back that often to Bangkok, I know there are more shops there, and I do sometimes go shopping in Bangkok when I have the chance. Um, but I live in South Thailand, and there is a small record and bookshop in a town called Prambury near Hua Hin, which has a very nice guy who runs the shop there. And I bought quite a few records from him over the years. But that's a little way north of where I am, further south in Thailand. And I don't have any record shops where I am. But last week I traveled 500 kilometers south of where I live to a town called Songkhla, which is near a big city called Hat Yai, which is the biggest city in the south of Thailand. And Songkla has this lovely old Chinatown area with lots of small vintage style coffee shops, Western restaurants, craft beer, which is another thing that I really enjoy. And I'm a bit of a foodie too. And I love those old buildings and old Chinese houses in that old Chinatown area. And when I did a search on Google Maps when I was researching about the holiday. I was already planning to go there, and I wrote in Songkla record shops, and lo and behold, it came up. Yes, there is a record shop in Songkla. It turns out it's the only record shop, proper record shop in the south of Thailand. And people come far and wide, like I did. I traveled 500 kilometers to get to this record shop. I was also on holiday, but yeah, a lot of people combine it with their holiday trip and say, right, well, I need to get to this record shop and support a local business like this. And this shop is called Nusantara, and they you can find them on Google Maps. And right, they also have a listening bar in the street opposite, on the next street across, and they have a back door they can walk through to their listening bar, and you enter from a different from the next street, and they live above the premises. And the listening bar is fantastic too. They have a proper little hi-fi setup. They have I think they're called acoustic research speakers, kind of vintage style speakers stuck up at the top of this huge case of hundreds of records, and two Technics decks, a Luxman amplifier, and away you go. And it's a really lovely, homely, friendly setup there. I was the only customer there for a lot of the evening while I was there. So I just sat at the bar drinking whiskey, chatting to the lovely owners, a Malaysian lady and a Thai guy who was spinning the records. And wow, what an amazing kind of collection of records they had there. They had Thai records. They had music from South Africa, which they bought. They go on these record hunting trips to South Africa, to Japan. I think to Indonesia. They said they've been as well. And they have this world music section and a Thai section, an Indonesian and Japanese section. there in their shop. And they also have a jazz section, soul, funk section, rock. So they really cover all the bases in this quite a small shop. But the shop is great as well. There's a really nice lady who helps them to run that shop. And they sell beer in the shop, so you can sit down and have a beer and listen to the records that you're thinking about buying, which is great. So they've got a turntable there and two big JBL vintage speakers, again up high, sound great through a NAD amplifier, really powerful NAD amplifier. Sounds great. Great way to buy records. And I bought quite a few in that shop, which I'm going to share with you now what I actually bought. So here we are. As a little introduction to the channel and some of the records that I like. Let's start with this one, which is Hank Crawford. Don't you worry about a thing. What a great cover that is, isn't it? Isn't that fantastic picture there of Hank Crawford in a lovely red vintage sports car? As you can see, they're arranged and conducted by Bob James. But a lot of there are strings, particularly on the first track. Don't you worry about a thing, the title track, which is lovely. But it's maybe not the most interesting thing on there. We've heard many versions of this song, this Stevie Wonder song. But yeah, Jana, the next song is nice, and All in Love is Fair. That's a really nice version actually, and as is at the start of side two, Show is Funky. Nearly 13 minutes of just lovely jazz funk. And actually, I on Sunday night I DJ'd in a bar actually at the beach near where I live, and I sometimes play with a friend there, and I played that one out, and it was great. Partly because it's 13 minutes and it gives me a break, and it means I don't have to. I can sit down and drink a beer and take a break. It's a great one for DJs. But yeah, Sure is Funky is a great tune, as is the last one there, Groove Junction. It just sounds really great. Really good condition as well. I mean, they're very fair the way they label these. I think these are all labeled very good plus, but really some of these are near mint, and this one is definitely is in that category. Then a classic of Steely Dan's greatest hits. Classic artists need no introduction, of course. These artists, if you're in this area of jazz funk, and great kind of gatefold here with a classic picture of Donald and Walter. And this greatest hits, I mean, it's a really well mastered greatest hits collection. They sound great on this. And like it's a double record. The first record covers their early years, and the second record goes through Katie Lyde and the Royal Scam, and then a couple from Asia, uh, Peg and Josie, two great tunes as well. So really, I mean, yeah, as a DJ as well, just there's so much here you can play, and it's just great music for a bar and for audiophile listening as well. Great collection. I didn't have any Steely Dan on vinyl before, so this is a great way in for me. I have some of their stuff on CD, and I am a pretty big fan, especially their later stuff. But this might help me get me more into their early stuff actually by playing these on vinyl at home. Great pickup. Steely Dan's greatest hits. This was a slightly random one. This is some Japanese late 70s Japanese blues rock. And this is why I love record shops. I would never, look for this or buy this online, but I just saw this cover. It was a good price. It was, less than $10, but it was in great condition. And I thought, well, let's stick it on the hi-fi in the shop and see how it sounds. It sounds great. It's different to what I normally buy, but it's nice to have a bit of rock in the collection as well, even though I don't listen to that much rock, especially on vinyl. Great to hear this, and bluesy, and great to hear it with a Japanese vocals. It's just one of those things with you. Again, maybe I'll play this sometime in the bar, and they'll be like, "Wow, what's this? Japanese blues?" And but it sounds good in its own right. Interesting record. I have to do a bit of research about these guys. This is from 1979. It's called yeah, Twist 2. There you go. From Japan, of course. Next one, a bit more smooth. Yeah, I just like the cover of this one though. Michael Frank's Objects of Desire. There you go. Classical art on the cover as well. Yeah. And there he is himself on the back. But yeah, the first guy, the first tune really stuck out with me. Jealousy, and I played that as well actually when I DJ'd on Sunday night. But yeah, just a really, really well recorded, beautifully recorded, kind of audiophile a bit. Really nice kind of bass going through, and wow, the list of musicians on this record is it's long. And yeah, that's a record I've got to delve into more. There are some great musicians on here, like Harvey Mason, for example. I see Bonnie Raitt, David Sanborn, Luther Vandross, Larry Carlton. Wow, there's a the list of musicians on here is is amazing. I need to dig deeper into this record. I've only just bought it. Great though. Okay, a classic, Miles Davis, Kind of Blue. I've never had this on vinyl before. I've only ever had it on CD. I've had it for 25 years on CD. For some reason, I never got round to buying it on vinyl. I haven't been a big one for kind of, collecting, you know, the classics on vinyl. I tend to just go to shops and buy things, slightly randomly. But I saw this in the shop in Songkla and I thought, well, yeah, this would be a great souvenir of my holiday. So I played this and I'll always remember that shop. And it is an all-time classic, and it is genuinely one of my favorite jazz records. Probably, maybe my favorite. I think it's the greatest jazz record ever made. People may disagree, but wow, it's just still sounds completely stunning. And I'm looking forward. I haven't opened it yet. Looking forward to playing it on record at home for the first time. Then let's finish off with something slightly slightly more random. I got this from their bargain bin. They have 150 baht, which is £3, $5 bargain bin. And I picked this up. And actually, they don't let you play records from the bargain bin in the shop, which is understandable. Some of them may be in rather rather poor condition, but this is near mint, and Cleo Lane is a fantastic uh, 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 English jazz singer, uh, rose to fame in the 50s and 60s. And yeah, she really was up there. And this record, I played this morning, and wow, it sounds fantastic. The treble really comes out beautifully. It's beautifully recorded live at Carnegie Hall. I wasn't sure how this would work out, but wow, this is absolutely fantastic. Uh, my daughter's middle name is Cleo, actually, and it was partly Cleo Lane, but also Cleo Sol, one of my favorite singers. But yeah, Cleo Lane was definitely in my thoughts as I named my daughter Cleo. And this record, wow, this really amazed me. Really, you really see why people thought she was, one of the great singers of the time. This was recorded on October the 17th, 1973, when I was less than 1 month old. So a nice bit of history there. And it's in fantastic condition, near mint. I mean, it's one of those records where it really sounds like you're there if you've got a decent hi-fi. And as I said, the bass and the treble, which can sound woolly in these kind of recordings sometimes, sounds fantastic. Pretty silent kind of, um, background. It really suits a good hi-fi. What a great pickup. Another great kind of souvenir of my holiday in Songkla at this amazing record shop, Nusantara. Yeah, so there we go. 6 records that I picked up, and it was a lot of fun and really enjoyed it. And it was great being able to go and just play some of those records straight away at the beach on Sunday night. So, yeah, a bit of a longer video there for me today, but I hope you enjoyed just seeing some of my music tastes here in Thailand. And even though it's a backwater, hey, I can still buy records and enjoy my hobby here in South Thailand. Well, I've been carrying on for long enough on this channel, carrying on. So from me, Julian, that's all we have for today. And I look forward to seeing you all next time here. Uh, uh, until then, bye bye.